that should I now focus upon the pre-examination or should I focus on the mains examination for the upcoming civil services examination? Now this question can certainly come in your pre-examination, reason it was in news. But the way he will ask the question will be different. You have not to segregate pre and mains drastically or very much. Now the whole debate will change. Earlier it was about pre versus mains. Now it can be about November, December, January, how should I proceed? One thing is clear, I proved the way you read GS, it should be completely preliminary oriented. This is the third week of October 2025 and one question is bothering most of the aspirants, that should I now focus upon the pre-examination 2026 or should I focus on the mains examination for the upcoming civil services examination? Hello all, this is Ashish Kumar, Faculty for Polity and Governance, PW, OnlyIAS. Friends, here I am to solve this dilemma, this question, that should I focus upon pre or should I focus upon mains? See, first of all, let me tell you that most of the aspirants, they believe that pre is the first step, mains is the second step, and interview is the final step. So they take it step by step. And normally they are so much fearful of the pre-examination that they dedicate all the energy on pre-exam, ignoring the mains. Tell me one thing, if you consider them as different steps, you clear pre. Now you can tell the whole world that, see, I cleared pre, I am appearing for mains. People are happy with you, but only for few months. If you clear pre and for some reason your mains preparation were not that sound, and you could not do well in mains and you didn't clear mains, then clearing pre, will it make any objective difference into your life? Will it change your career in any objective manner? The answer is no. Because you have to understand that they are not actually different steps. It's an overall integrated civil services examination and you should see it in an integrated manner. Yes, the nature of the questions will be different, but the content will again be more or less common. So you have to not segregate it into pre and mains that much. Rather, you have to segregate or you have to set your priorities on the subjects. Which subject is more important? Which subject should I give more time on? And on which subject I can afford to give lesser time? So once your priority is set, once your priority is clear, that how much time and energy I have to put on which subject, then you can tackle all the three stages in an efficient and right way. And here I am to give you a very good analysis, but you have to show some patience to understand it from the beginning till the end. Let me give you an example where I can prove you that the whole preparation can be taken in an integrated manner, at least when it comes to GS. I give an example. Let's say the question comes from polity and the question relates to the area of elections. And the question is about Representation of People Act. You studied Representation of People Act, you studied the current affairs of Representation of People Act. Now you take pre. In the pre, the examiner can ask you, which section of Representation of People Act 1951 relates to the corrupt practices? Now this question can certainly come in your pre-examination, reason it was in news. Now something similar can come in mains, but the way he will ask the question will be different. But since you have covered the content, let him ask it in any way, either in pre or in mains. And the question has already come in the last mains examination 2025. He asked about the corrupt practices which are discussed in Representation of People Act 1951. Now friends, let me tell you, if you were thorough with your class notes and you were thorough with the current affairs, then had this question come in pre or had this question come in mains, it would not be difficult to answer it. Reason, you prepared Representation of People Act 360 degrees holistically so that you can answer it in any form, in any way, in any format, in pre or in mains. You know corrupt practices in RPA, 1951. You know it is about section 123. Let him ask in pre, you answered it. Let him ask in mains, you can answer it, but of course, the way you answer will be different and that requires some sort of practice. Anyways, you are in October and let's come back to the same question. Should I focus more on pre and should I focus more on mains? I have answered it clearly. You have not to segregate pre and mains drastically or very much. Prepare holistically the subjects. Prepare polity for civil services. Prepare modern history for civil services. Prepare economics for civil services. Prepare environment for civil services. And then depending upon which exam you are taking and what the question is, you can use this content to answer it in pre, to answer it in mains. That was about GS only. Now I want to present one more interesting analysis to you and I want your attention and your patience so that you can benefit something from this analysis. Let me show you some figures. Now the whole debate will change. Earlier it was about pre versus mains. Now it can be about GS versus the other areas. Should I focus upon GS or should I focus upon other areas to do well in this examination? I am going to actually change the whole course of the debate now for your benefit. Please focus on it. Consider those areas which do not come in pre. They come in mains only. They do not directly come in pre. What is the weightage of those subjects? I have put that on the board. Please focus. Now, of course, the optional subject. Optional will come in mains. Ethics will come in mains, not in pre. Essay will come in mains, not in pre. And other than your optional ethics and essay, there are certain other miscellaneous areas which come in mains only. Let's say world history. Majorly it comes in mains. Let's say social issues. Largely it will come in mains. Let's say international relations. Elaboration about it. So if you combine the weightage given to these areas, the marks weightage given to these areas, optional 500 marks, ethics 250 marks, essay 250 marks, and those miscellaneous subjects like social issues, world history, IR, it goes beyond 50. I've mentioned here 50, just an approximation. It can range from 50 marks to 100 marks. So add them together, the weightage of the content which comes only in mains is from 1050 marks to 1100 marks. 1100 marks का ये area है, and this will reflect in mains only, right? Suppose you are very much fearful of preliminary exam. Pre निकाल दे भगवान, mains मैं खुद देख लूंगा. I want to clear the pre. I want to clear the pre at any cost. It will give me recognition and this and that, right? So all your focus goes on those areas which come in pre only. And those areas are general studies. So you focus on general studies, keeping in mind pre, and you ignored your mains. If you do that, then you may do well on those questions which relate to general studies, whether they come in pre or they come in mains. And even if you are in your best form, then you are doing good in these areas. Because your GS is very, very strong because you focused on pre. तो आपका GS strong है, considering you studied it holistically. आपने content पूरा अच्छे से पढ़ा, GS मजबूत बना लिया. So now you may do good in GS1, 250 marks. You may do good in GS2, GS3, and even consider that all the questions are directly from the GS areas, which are not actually. Then also you are focusing upon 750 marks. I am telling you that if you focus all your energy on general studies, then you may do good in 750 marks. But if you focus your energy on these areas also, other than GS, optional, ethics, essay, and some miscellaneous areas, then you are talking about a larger stake, 1100 marks. So which is the bigger number, 1100 or 750? Of course, this much. So if you ignore these areas and you concentrate all the energy on GS, then my dear friends, you may clear pre. You may clear pre, but then final selection becomes difficult because you have ignored a vital area, considering that to be coming in mains only. Now you believe that let me handle the danger which is imminent and which I am facing right now. This has to come later on. This will come later on, but this has to be cleared if you really want to become an officer, an IAS officer. So don't ignore this also. This is what I am trying to tell you. But then again we are coming back to the same question that October, November, December, January, how should I proceed? One thing is clear, I proved that when you prepare your GS, pre and mains do not have a very fine segregation while you prepare. Prepare GS as GS, prepare polity as polity, prepare economics as economics. Later on, depending upon pre or mains, you can use the knowledge, you can use the content to answer it. So one thing is clear, holistic preparation for GS, integrated preparation for GS. Now, we are in October, 15th October. In the remaining time period, how should I proceed further so that I can address this as well as this? Now friends, let me tell you that these things, if suppose you put 100 hours on these subjects and you put 100 hours on these subjects, you put equal time on these subjects, then the output will be more here. You dedicate 100 hours on GS, you dedicate 100 hours on optional. This will fetch you more marks because GS is so spread. Drawing marks from that will require more energy, more time. So this becomes scoring. For your final selection, these areas become scoring. They require relatively less time, but they can fetch you more marks. But the catch here is that optional, ethics, essay, and these small miscellaneous areas, they require peace of mind when you prepare them. They require creativity, they require time. They require a stability while you study them. Optional can be covered from scratch till the end in, let's say, 4 months. So already you are mid of October. So you can dedicate your time till January end on these areas. January end, you keep focusing more on, I do not say you ignore GS. You keep focusing more on these areas and dedicate 80% of your time to cover them, so that by January end, your optional, at least you have gone through the content, you have read the content. Answer writing you can do little bit, and after your pre you can do holistic answer writing, focused answer writing, but at least cover the content, cover all the chapters of optional, cover the syllabus of ethics, practice essay. At this point, write one essay every week. Slowly you build upon this, and by January end, your optional, ethics, essay, world history, this should be complete. And after that, you can give more time to GS. I can give you a kind of a broad breakup also of the time you should dedicate to these subjects. For example, you are studying for 9 hours every day. Right now, October, you are studying for 9 hours every day. In 9 hours, current affairs is indispensable. You cannot stop current affairs at any point of time. So dedicate 1 hour to current affairs daily. 1 घंटा current affairs को रोज देना है. Dedicate around 6 hours daily to your optional and ethics. मतलब you can distribute either 4 hours to optional, 2 hours to ethics, or 5 hours to optional, 1 hour to ethics. I mean, it varies from person to person. But what I'm saying is that in general, dedicate 6 hours to your optional and ethics preparation every day. I mean, you can have, again, as I said, 5 hours optional, 1 hour ethics, or you can dedicate 4 days to optional and 2 days to ethics, keeping 1 day off. Whatever way you want to do, you do. But till January end, these areas should be complete. So dedicate 6 hours to optional and these areas, 1 hour to current affairs magazine. If you cannot read the newspaper, leave it. Paper nahi padh pa rahe, chhod do. Focus on current affairs magazine. So 1 hour on current affairs magazine daily, 6 hours on your optional and ethics, and then 2 hours to GS. Because GS will come in not only pre, it will also come in mains. But till January end, GS should not take much of your time. After all, you cannot ignore this also. Now January is over, February start, February, March, April and till 20th of May. So these 3.5 months, you can dedicate your energy and time on GS. And keeping in mind here, preliminary exam, you can make your own timetable. Till January end, you were dedicating 6 hours to your optional. After January, shift these 6 hours to your general studies. After January, you can dedicate 6 hours to GS, remaining 2 hours GS you were already doing. So it gives you 8 hours of GS after January, 8 hours of GS after January, and then you can have 1 hour with, you have to increase the number of hours also. After January, you have to shift the gear and you should study for 10 hours every day for 6 days a week. So dedicate more time to your GS after January from February. Around 8 hours you should give to your GS. And one thing I have seen is that people have developed an obsession for test series. Do not fall into the trap. Test series are sold as a business. Of course, business houses have to run, but it's not your responsibility to cover each and every test series given by each and every institute. Practice max to max 10 to 15 journal studies paper pre, 10 to 15 journal studies paper mains. I have seen people practicing 200, 300 papers from GS pre. If you practice so much, when are you going to study? You have limited time. So utilize the time well. Do not overly focus upon test series. Focus more upon reading the content. And after pre is over, you will be knowing very soon. Now they are going to release the answer key also. After pre, you are going to know that whether you are going to clear it or not, largely because this time as UPSC is going to announce the answer keys also after the exam, immediately after the examination. So you will have a fair idea that you are clearing pre or not. Then your answer writing should become your priority. Answer writing for optional because already you have read it. Answer writing for ethics, and then give more time to essay also. If till January end you are writing 1 essay every week, after pre you may be writing 2 or 3 essays every week. But that is after pre. Till January end, focus on them. After January, focus on GS more. But when I say focus on GS more, I am talking about the GS, holistic GS, which will help you in pre as well as in mains. And just, you can say 1 month before the examination, means I am talking about around 20th April, think about pre only. आखिरी 1 महीना सिर्फ pre की बात करो. Just to give you a kind of a summary, till January end, February, March, April, focus more on GS, and this GS should be such that you keep in mind pre and mains both, holistic journal studies preparation. And the last month, think that you are appearing only for preliminary exam. So now the last 1 month, the way you read GS, it should be completely preliminary oriented. More facts, more practice. More practice means not more than 15 test paper of journal studies. 15 mocks से ऊपर जाने की जरूरत नहीं है. It will not have any beneficial effect. Rather, it will backfire, let me tell you. So I hope I have already answered some of your queries. If you have some more queries, if I could not answer them right now, I'll try to answer them in another video. And if somewhere you got some kind of confusion, feel free to ask them. I'll be more than happy to answer them. Thank you very much. Stay blessed, stay happy.